Hi everyone, welcome back to Our World Wednesday. Today I'm here at Interlochen and we're about to get a tour of the kitchen, and I'm here with Allyssa Smith, our Director of Member Dining, to go backstage and see what's going on.
So this is our weight station here. We do have our compostable bins back here that allow for our team to compost anything we say that grows from the ground goes back into the ground. So a little bit easier for our team to remember that. And then we also have some signage all around the clubhouse to be able to facilitate that piece. All right, we'll go back in the kitchen here. So this is the unpretty fish pit of Interlochen. So we have our compostable bins. This is the majority of everything we do. So that's why it's first, because again, the majority of our stuff are plastic, glassware, all of those things. That is all compostable. Our coasters, everything like that you see as well. So all food scraps, our paper, everything can go right in here. Then if it's not compostable, the second would be recyclable. Because again, we're trying to recycle everything we can. And then last but not least, trash. There should be very little trash left after we compost and recycle. So we have that bin at the very end to really help with that process. Cool. All right. So this is our main kitchen where all of the magic and life happens here. It's a little bit more beautified on this side, but we have all of our hot line here and all of our cold line here. And this is called our pass as people are coming through.
Cool.
All right. Do you know where follow me right this way a little bit. So this is our banquet hotline. This is where we prepare all of our banquet meals and have everything come through. This also becomes a prep station for us as well. And with a lot of our pieces, when we have scrap food, scrap meats, fish, things like that, we like to use that in maybe a soup pickup or something of that matter.
That's cool.
And we also do our family meals here as well. So maybe there's something that didn't work for a dish on this, or it was a leftover component, we can then go ahead and add that into our family meals as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So yes, a few different ways to be able to have that. We can also go back here if you'd like to see our pastry area.
Why not? I love desserts.
Wonderful. Pardon me. So we also have our pastry area back here. Same exact thing. We try to have all of our bins here. We've color coded everything too, where green is compostable, brown is trash, and we go as far as our bags too. The compostable bags are green to match, and then we have our recycling bins that are blue that don't have bags, and then our trash bags which are black, and then usually brown bins. So we really try to color code everything in that matter as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wonderful. Let's see here. Go on back.
It's so much bigger than it looks
I
on the
know.
outside.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
We've got our dry storage here with all of our dry materials that we can grab here, and then all of our coolers along this way. Additional prep area, again, you're going to notice green bins, flexible, black bins here for trash.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
That is like some precision strawberry cutting.
Dad would be very happy with that.
And then we also go as far as outdoors in our loading dock. If you did want me to bring you out there, I totally can. But
Why not?
we have that set up for the corner. We have that set up as well too, so we know what is labeled compostable, what is labeled trash, and what is labeled recycling.
I never. Where are we? Is this like
that's
when you
that
dive
way.
down to the
Yep,
pool?
Yep, that's that
Oh,
way
okay,
here.
okay.
Yep. So then we have organics bin labeled again. We've got organics labeled everywhere there. And then we have all of our trashes and all of our recyclings all properly labeled.
Cool. Oh my gosh. I just love cooking too, so this is really interesting.
Yes.
Just like everything is.
Yes. So no, we really try to do a lot of things where, again, how can we have the least wastage as possible and make sure that when we are disposing of these things, we're doing it properly. Another kind of piece to note, so as I talked about banquet side over here, a la carte side there. There is some crossover, and as we kind of do some of our allergies and certain things like that, that's where we have those pieces of this is a gluten-free fryer versus our fryers up here that we do prepare things with gluten in it. So having those allergy-safe areas is huge as well within our world of dietary restrictions and, you know, diet trends and things like that as well too.
Wow. That's cool. Thank you.
Of course. So, any questions that you have for me that I can answer?
On an average day or an average weeknight or an average weekend, how much food scraps do you have? How much recycle? How much trash?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I guess off the top of my head, I mean, in terms of compostable, that is what we do the most because we have trained our team, our club to be able to do that, and even the wastage from, you know, plates coming in from the restaurant. I would say we probably have at least just in this outlet, let alone all of the other places in the club, we probably do at least 3 or 4 of those compostable trash can sizes. Cool. So those are about what, your 5-gallon bags there. So we probably do about 3 or 4 on an average day just for this area here.
Yeah. That's really neat.
Definitely.
Okay. So where do you source most of your ingredients from?
Yes, so we always try to do a lot of local farms and locally grown items. We try to do as much as we can here on property. So we do have a garden that we do a lot of our vegetables from. We actually have bees on our property, so we do harvest our own honey from those bees as well. And then in the summer months, we have our planters on our terrace deck that have fresh herbs. So a lot of our mint, a lot of our thyme, a lot of the basil, and we'll go out there and cut fresh for that evening for our cocktails or maybe a garnish on one of our entrees for that special that night.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Of course. Here's our dairy cooler. Yep, so we have all of our dairy products here. And then next to us there, back behind you, we've got our freezer for all of our prep items and stuff as well. Which a lot of this too is mainly used by banquets. A lot of our a la carte items we try to keep as fresh as possible.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like we covered a lot of you. It's called Our World with Meredith, and it focuses on the environment. And I do Our World Wednesdays, which is why I'm here on a Wednesday, about the environment and different topics. But also, cooking has just always been a passion of mine, something I like and enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So this is like a personal question. What makes you so passionate about cooking?
Oh, good question. You know, I think it's just something I've like grown up being passionate about. I mean, I've done it from a young age. I remember cooking at a young age, gardening at a young age. It's just something that like you're growing up around food and it's just passion about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually I got good at it and stuck with it, you know?
I like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of, some of these are hard questions, so just give me your best. But like, how do you see the future of this kitchen and cooking and continuing that?
This kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good question. You know, I think we're always have to be like progressive in what we're doing, right? Like our restaurant philosophy right now is to make, you know, interesting but yet approachable food, right? If you don't understand what you're eating, I don't think people are going to be interested in eating it. So I think we always just try to be approachable, but there's a quote by Thomas Keller that says, if me and you have the same cooking skills, but I use better ingredients, I'll make better food. And I think like a lot of what you're doing right now is like looking at like where the food comes from.
Yeah.
Like we do our best to source the best ingredients, right? And that will pay off in the quality of food that we make.
Yeah, I kind of talked about that with Allyssa and like seeing the gardening and all the ingredients you had. I thought that was really interesting. So just kind of for a final question, this one's about the environment.
Yeah.
But overall, how do you think about those practices and sustainability as you're cooking and preparing these meals and creating the menu?
Sure. Yeah, so I think like education is what's really important, right? Like when you go out to a restaurant, you don't think about the animal that was slaughtered for your meal, right? And so when I lived in Hawaii, we went to the slaughterhouse and we would get a whole hog. And what we learned is each hog only has 2 bellies, only has 2 pork tenderloins. But yet when we serve a banquet of 300 people, potentially 100 hogs were slaughtered just for those pork tenderloins. So if you put it into perspective and you start to respect that ingredient from the time that it was raised to slaughter to our restaurant, I think you value those ingredients more. And so I think the more that we can educate our team from the gardening practices to this, you know, the farmers that raise that stuff, you'll respect those ingredients more. And I think that they'll love what they do and they'll understand at what cost, you know, it's been brought to us, you know.
And I mean, I've always loved the menu here, and I like the ingredients, and also just what you're saying about approachability. I've considered myself an adventurous eater,
Yeah.
but you're just, you're doing a really good job because I like trying a lot of different stuff here. So you're doing a good job. And it was so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you for taking time
Yeah,
out of
absolutely.
your busy night
Yeah,
and
thank
giving
you.
it a chat with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for coming.